Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. And today we are going to be doing a get ready with me featuring a bunch of new items. And we have a new Tom Ford Extreme Badass lipstick. We have the new SUQQU matte powder. The newest foundation from Sisley, a new blush from Hermes, and so forth. So stay tuned and let's get started. All right, so we're gonna start off with the Surratt Perfectionist Primer. You can see my skin is kind of dewy. That's from the particular sunscreen that I use today. And I feel like the Surratt Primer always kind of helps to mattify that without making my skin feel dry. So anytime I use a dewier sunscreen, I like to use that particular primer, and I can already feel it, getting less tackiness to it. So on the eyes for eye primer, I'm going to go in with the Viseart eye primer. This is my everyday eye primer, and I like to put the eye primer on at the same time as my face primer so it has time to sit, because sometimes eye primers perform better after they've had a chance to sit on your skin a little bit. And so we're just going to put that on and leave that. And we're going to use the Tom Ford. This is the shade in Illuminate Concealer today. So put a little bit of that there. And I got a little blemish there that we're going to cover up. Not going to worry about any other spots. And let's actually start off with this part here. For foundation today, we are going to be using the newest Sisley one. This is the phyto-teint nude, and I've used this a few times, but I don't think I've used this on camera before. So I figure we'll go ahead and try that out. I've got quite a few new random makeup items that I thought we would play with today. This brush, by the way, is the Soft Concealer from Sonia G. And this is the one that is a blend of synthetics and indigo hair. So, all right, so for the foundation, can you hear it? You can hear that it's a very thin, more liquidy foundation. It does come in a squeeze tube type product. You can see how runny it is. And I have what shade is this? 000N Snow. And it's not exactly the right shade for me. I should have gone with one slightly deeper. Unfortunately, the actual shades that they have are a little bit different. This is the Chikuhodo T11. They're not the same shade names and colors as the other foundation lines. So it was a little hard picking a shade. And when I went through the foundation finder, this was mentioned. This is the one that was selected for me. And it works. It works better now at this time of year. I picked it up right at the end of summer, and that's kind of when it came out. But it was just a little bit too light, and I don't really tan during the summer, so honestly, it doesn't make that big of a difference. Now, this foundation is very light. Again, it's pretty thin, watery consistency. You can build this up to a light medium, but really it's just a light coverage foundation. You can see that this particular shade has a little bit of rosiness in it, and it's a little bit too, you can tell it's a little too light. And you can see it almost looks like there's a little bit of flashback on my skin with this particular shade. All right, so I'm just going to take my hands and press that in. And the reason I did this is just because I could see a few little brush lines, and I wanted to make sure it was warmed up enough because it's freezing out today, and I actually don't have the heat on all the way up here. I'm on the top level, so it's a little cold in here right now. So I just wanted to make sure it was warmed up enough to meld into my skin nicely. All right, so next let's go ahead and move into the eyes. I picked up the new Auric So Auric they have 2 new of the Smoke Reflect Eye Duos, and I picked up the green one. So this is the shade Entice. You can see there is a little sticker here on the mirror, and you've got kind of this topper, very reminiscent of, you know, some of the Tom Ford ones. And I do think that this formula is very similar to that. So you've got the little like plug here, and then here is the green. So I've got enough product here on the lid, so we're going to work with this. All right, so I am just going to dip the Esom V27. It's not actually a blue brush, but mine is stained from some product. I'm gonna dip that into the product on the lid. And let's put this on. All right, and before that dries, I'm going to blend a little bit into the crease. So I'm taking the Esom V33. I don't have any product on here. I'm just going to kind of move a little bit of what's there, and then we'll go over that area again with the other brush. But I just want something a little bit softer here. So just going to blend that. So you can see I just have like shadow there in the crease. And now I'm gonna go back with the V27 and just add a little bit more product up to the crease here. All right, so here's the green. Now on the other side, let's go ahead and go in with the finger. And I made a mess because I shouldn't have used this particular finger. My fingers are a mess. Like I ripped the cuticles on my skin accidentally opening a package, and that's why I haven't been wearing nail polish, because I'm trying to let everything kind of heal. My nails are like peeling and stuff. So yeah, everything's kind of a little on the rougher side. All right, so I'm gonna just have to go in with the brush for part of this. My fingers are just too big. So it doesn't have to be perfect because I am going to be going over this with the topper anyway, but this is the green, and just before we close up the green, I'm going to get a little bit of the product right here on the tip for the lower lash line. And I'm wiping off the brush before blending that out. All right, and I'm just taking the concealer brush that I used earlier and just kind of going up towards my eyebrow to kind of get rid of any like shadow that's drooping down a little bit. You can see over here where the skin on my nail or on my finger, which is hardened, kind of scratched my eye, but yeah, that's such a mess. All right, so I'm actually going to use my finger for this. So, oh, you can see it's actually a white gold. I thought it was more white, but it's definitely gold here. And let's go ahead and pat this on. This is a very firm powder, very firmly pressed. So you kind of have to use a little pressure to pick up the product. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and take this brush. This was the V33. I'm just going to get a little bit of product on here and put that in the crease. And I'm just going to dab a little bit in the inner corner here as well. And I'm okay with getting that a little messy. So just for a second, just wanted to compare the packaging on these. You can see for the holiday colors, they have a white more of a glossier white plastic instead of the matte black plastic. I actually do prefer this. I like the white color, but I prefer the matte packaging. I feel like it's just a little bit more chic. Now, if you haven't picked up the holiday colors yet, as far as I know, from what I've been told, the shades are actually going to be permanent in this packaging at a later date. So the packaging itself is limited edition, but the shades are not limited edition. And this is the eye look. And let's add some eyeliner. I think for eyeliner, I'm going to take the Sisley. This is one of the Phyto Kohl Stars, or Phyto Star Kohl, what do they call it? Phyto Kohl Star eyeliners. This is one of the new matte ones in green, which I think is called, yep, Matte Jungle. So just gonna put this right along the line. These are very, very creamy, very easy to use. If you want to smudge them out, you can, but you don't have to. Now, keep in mind that anything this creamy, you can get a pretty fine point on this for a creamy product, but compared to like a drier pencil formula, you're not going to get as fine of a point because obviously as soon as you start to use it, the point will dull. You know what? Let's add a little bit of silver to the inner corner as well. This is the kajal from Byredo in Chandi. And yeah, it's a nice product. This is like in between like a cream and a drier pencil, but super easy to use. Love the point on there. It's very elongated tip, which makes it, in my opinion, a little bit easier to use because you can just kind of go on its side and get like half your eye at one time. Now let's take a look at the new powder from SUQQU. So this powder sounds very intriguing to me. This is the Smooth Matte Loose Powder. And, you know, this, as all SUQQU products, is made in Japan. And it has a 1-year shelf life. We have 14 grams of powder in here. And unscrew this, you have a nice puff up here, which honestly, I never use the puffs. You do have a label covering the sifter here. Ooh. Okay, so I thought it was one of those sticky labels, but it's actually more like cardboard. That's, how is this attached? I think, wow, messy. Okay, so there was cardboard and a sticker. They just came up together. So just beware, that makes a little bit of a mess. So you can see you have kind of like the mesh net type product there. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in the lid here. And here it is. You can see that it is a pink powder. And this is, the reason this is so intriguing to me is because it's matte, but it's supposed to give you a rosy glow. And usually you don't associate a glow with a matte product. I mean, look at me, I've just got powder everywhere now. But yeah, let's go ahead and try it out. So I'm going to use the Chikuhodo T1 brush. This is undyed goat hair. I just recently picked this up from the Visage sale, and I just kind of swirled my brush into that. I mean, look, it's even on my mirror here. And let's just do a light dusting. All right, so powder, no powder. All right, so again, this side has a powder, this side doesn't. I do definitely see a little bit of a blurring effect on here. It's a little bit more matte, just looks slightly better, but I can't say that I see a huge difference. So we're going to use the SUQQU Buffer Pro on the other side. So I decanted some more powder in here, just getting it stamped into the brush and swirl that around so it's kind of in the bristles. And let's go ahead and buff this in. I mean, I can definitely tell that there's more powder on this side. I have more of a blurring effect, specifically look right here compared to this side. but it's not a gigantic difference. I feel like if I put a little bit more powder here on both sides of my face, it's going to be pretty similar. Let's try it out. Okay, so got a little bit here. Okay, got some on this brush. So looking at it closely, I definitely do think that the side with the Buffer Pro looks a bit better. I'd love to know what you guys think, or if it really doesn't make that much of a difference. I don't think it makes a huge difference, but being super picky, I do think that this side looks just a little bit better. And let's move on to blush, because I have a new blush to try. So Hermes, you thought I had all of them, right? Well, there was that one shade that was exclusive to like Canada and other countries. It wasn't available in the US. Well, now it is available in the US. So thank you so much to Butra for sharing that with me, because it is available on the Hermes website and I wanted to try this shade. So this is the 37 Rose Poivre. And let's go ahead and swatch this here. Look at that. Yeah. All right, let's put it on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use, well, let's use the buffer brushes on the left side for both. So this is the Sonia G Smooth Buffer, and just putting that in, and all I'm doing is actually stamping it. So that's Rose Poivre. Let's try with another brush. This is the SUQQU KZ4, and let's put it on softly here. So Rose Poivre. So I'm going to do mascara and brows, and then I have a new lip product to try as well. All right, so next we have one of the new Tom Ford Extreme Badass lipsticks. This is the shade Blush New, and it's number 3. Look at the packaging. I love the packaging. You go from white to chrome. It's really gorgeous. I ordered this one from Selfridges. I did order the new Metalist Quad and the red lipstick from Beautylish, but I just got an email that they actually won't have it in until mid-January now. So I don't know what's going on. But you know what? Let's actually swatch this first. This is a very elongated tip. I'm a little worried that I'll break that off. So that's just one sheer swatch. Let's make it a little bit thicker here. And this is an interesting finish. I was really curious about the formula. This is new. It's supposed to be like matte yet chromatic, and you know, kind of like a matte metallic. I wasn't quite sure how that would look, but yeah, it kind of accomplished that. So let's see how it looks on the lips. Now my lips are kind of dry, so this, we'll see if it emphasizes it a lot. I mean, it is emphasizing the cracks and stuff I have in my lips. You can see that it's not completely even there. This is kind of milky looking. It's definitely more of a soft peachy nude. It feels creamy yet a little powdery on the lips, but it's not like one of those mattes that feels like a dry down powder. It's like kind of a little bit of a different texture. It feels like it's in between a traditional like cream formula and a powder matte. So yeah, let me let's go ahead and back you out and look at this from a distance. So from a distance, we've got the whole look here. I think the lipstick looks better from a distance than it does up close. Up close, I definitely see more of the cracks and everything. If my lips were in better condition, I think it would actually look fine. but it does kind of emphasize some of the natural wrinkles and so forth, like the natural creases you have in your lips. So just something to note there. If that's something that bothers you, you know, this might not be the formula for you. But I think the color actually, it's better than I thought it would be, but different than I thought it would be. So I really wasn't sure if this color would work for me or not, because if you look for pictures online, in some photos it looks like a really washed out peachy shade, and in others it looks more like a nude brown. And I wasn't sure which one it was going to be. I feel like it's kind of in between the two, but closer to the peachy side. It's just not quite as washed out looking as I thought it might be if it were peachier. And I'm glad about that, because that's not really, you know, that's not my thing. But yeah, I think overall the color works well with this whole makeup look in general. And yeah, I'm gonna wear these throughout the day, and I will leave an update with how everything performed and held up. If there's a difference in how the powder performed on both sides, I highly doubt there will be, since, you know, they both have powder on them now. We'll mention the eye duos, although they have been good in the other color that I have, and the lipsticks. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. All right, so it's only been a few hours since I applied everything. I will leave a longer update down below in the comment box or description box. And I just wanted to update you guys now because I don't like the lipstick. So I'm gonna bring you in closer so you can see what it looks like up close. So this is the lipstick up close. And yeah, I mean, you can see how dry it makes my lips look. It accentuates the dryness. It never like totally sets down to a dry, powdery feel. It still has a very similar texture to the initial application where it's creamy, but you can feel like powder mixed into it. But I just feel like it looks terrible. So everything else is holding up fine. I think the powder looks pretty much the same on both sides. Everything else is good. But the lipstick, I gotta take it off. So unfortunately, I don't like the way the lipstick looks on me. You know, it's not great. I think I'm gonna cancel my order for the red lipstick because I don't really care for this texture and finish. Yeah, you know, I thought it sounded really cool. I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping it wouldn't, you know, look as dry on the lips as it does, but unfortunately, it's just not great for me. I will try this again another time when my lips are in better shape, but if your lips have any sort of dryness, I wouldn't recommend wearing this. Now, before I remove this, I will apply a gloss and see, you know, let's just put that on right now, just to see if it actually looks any better. This is just the clear Tower 28 gloss. Just see if it improves the appearance at all. I mean, let me bring you in. So you can see my lips are flaky now, which they weren't doing initially. I feel like adding the liquid on top changes the finish into more of a, you know, it's almost like a metallic lipstick, but not quite there. I don't like it. So this is it. All right, so I removed it, exfoliated my lips, and then reapplied just a small amount of the lipstick so it's more as a stain. And now I don't feel any of that creamy texture with just like that small amount of the lip product, but I feel like it still looks kind of dry. Let me show you closer. So this is how dry my lips look while they're freshly exfoliated and smooth. It's just not great in my opinion. So yeah. So I hope these updates were helpful. Now, as for the other items, I think the Sisley foundation is a nice product. And I think it's something that I would wear more frequently during the summer than I would at this time of year. But I do really like the formula. And again, the shade's just a little bit light and pink for me, but it's a nice product. So it's pretty pricey though, because I did not expect it to be quite this small when I ordered it. So it is 1 ounce, but you know, the bottle is small. So it's kind of like, it's just a little deceptive. This is 1 ounce also. It's not like it's different from, you know, most foundations are like 30 or 50 ounces. So it's not that different in size, but the packaging, you know, is more compact. So just something to note there. The Rose Poivre blush from Hermes, I love the color. I really like the Hermes blushes. Let me know if you'd like to see a video on the Hermes blushes again, sort of like an update video, including swatches of this and the others. And yeah, now I have all of them. So let me know about that down below in the comments. Now, as for the SUQQU powder, I'm enjoying this. So I will leave a longer term update down below in the description box. But yeah, so far so good. I like the blurring effect. I like the way it feels on my skin. It just feels silky smooth. It doesn't feel dry. It doesn't feel like, I don't feel anything. It just feels like my skin is silk. So I like that. And I will do a longer term update on this in an update video later after I've been using it for a few weeks. Now, as for the eye duo from Auric, I like it. You know, I think it's a nice product, nice formula, easy to work with, and I love the green color. So can't go wrong there. And then for the lipstick, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I'm definitely going to cancel my order for the red one. And yeah, I'm disappointed. It sounded really unique, which, you know, I knew from the description it could either be really good or really bad. So I was very optimistic about it, but unfortunately it's not good. So I wouldn't recommend it. I personally think it is a bit drying, and it accentuates dryness in your lips. And especially at this time of year, for anybody who is not in a warm tropical climate, you know, if you've got humidity issues, or lack of humidity issues rather, and cold and so forth, I think this formula is just going to accentuate any problems caused by that. So yeah, not really a great thing to me. All right, and that is everything. So I hope this was helpful. And please let me know what you think, if you've used any of these products and what your thoughts are. And if you have any requests for future updates, let me know, because I will be doing an update video soon. So thank you so much and have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.